Well, hello into people, I hope you're doing well. Now in this video we're going to be talking about some of the positive attributes to being autistic, because sometimes there is quite a lot of negativity about autism and autistic people, and to be honest there are great benefits to being autistic which I want to talk about. However, if you are brand new to my channel, I do make videos like this on a weekly basis, so if that sounds like your cup of tea, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Now the first positive to being autistic is just the fact that we're less judgmental. I feel like because we have troubles in school growing up and have a hard time fitting in with the in crowd and keeping up with things in general, that we're just less judgmental about people in terms of appearance, their status in life, compared to other people who judge Karen over in the distance about her shoes because her shoes are brown and it doesn't match the top or whatever the heck. I just think that we as autistic people are less judgmental. I mean, for me personally, and I don't know about you, if you have an opinion on this, definitely leave it in the comment section. For me personally, I just want to be surrounded by people who are nice, who just get it, who I have a common interest with, who I can just talk to and not feel like I'm being judged every 10 seconds. Now to me this is a positive thing because we are more interested in the person, who they are as a person, what their interests are, whether they're actually a good person because they're nice and stuff or just not so very nice. I do think it can be hard to determine that sometimes. I struggle with that. I can't instantly say that's a good person, that's a bad person based on first impressions anyway. But the thing that I care even less for is judging people based on their appearance and just who they are. It's not something I personally care about. Now, next positive about being autistic is the fact that we as autistic people are very determined people, but we're very resilient and want to prove ourselves, which I think is really, really great when it comes to employment opportunities. For me, I've always had this thing about you can't do this, you can't do that, oh you'll struggle with this, you'll struggle with that. All of this kind of rhetoric about you can't. I don't see why I can't do that. Yeah, it might be a struggle, but I'll get there somehow. And I think it's just that positive attitude that I feel I have, as well as other autistic people have, that just makes us determined to just succeed in life or just push us into what we want to do, even though it can be difficult to get there sometimes. When we're given the means and the support to be able to face that challenge head on, we're very determined and we want to prove ourselves. And I think determination in autistic people is something that can be brought to the workplace, and for others to see just how determined they are just to do something, even if there's no reward to that thing that they're doing, they're just doing it because they want to do it and they want to prove themselves to be the best that they can be. I think that kind of attitude is a positive thing that should be encouraged more, especially in the workplace. Now, next positive thing about being autistic for me is the sense of integrity. So being honest and being loyal. For me, honesty and loyalty are the things that I cherish above anything else. So when I was talking about judging people based on appearance, like I say, I don't really care about that stuff. It's about the person and whether they're nice, get me, but also if they're honest and loyal. I think the reason why we value integrity is just because, for me personally, you could be the same, I would love to know down below, but for me, it's hard to know when someone's being honest, because someone could say it, of course, anyone could say, oh, I'm being 100% honest that this thing in my hand is not going to blow up in your face when you use it. But does that actually mean that it's actually not going to blow up? It's hard to know sometimes, but also it's hard to know whether they have an ulterior motive or agenda. I'm not a mind reader. So, for me, when someone's just being honest, it's just so helpful. And also loyalty is really important, just having someone there who will just hear you out regardless of what's happened, because you just have that connection and just have that trust there. So honesty and loyalty, I think, is something that autistic people really value. Maybe because of past experiences as well, like in school, there's a lot of distrust and, people hurting us because kids are just kids and kids say stupid things. But I think it's something that we value and something that we value in others as well. Now, next positive thing about being autistic is just the fact that we're less money orientated. For me, money is not something that I'm constantly striving for. It's not something that I'm, obsessed about. Like, I need more money to be able to get the latest iPhone. I want more money to be able to get the latest drone so I can fling it across the town where I live. It's just, that's not something I care about. It's really not. To me, as long as I have enough to be able to live comfortably in terms of what I believe is comfortable for me and my fiance, then I'm perfectly content with that. To me, money has always been a necessity. It's something that I need to have in order to do X, Y, and Z. It's not something that is really that important to me. The only reason it becomes important is because of, bills. If bills don't get paid, then, obviously we can't live here. But to me, as long as I know how much I need to pay for stuff and how much we need to bring in, myself and my Nicola, every single month, I'm totally fine with that. And when it comes to purchasing stuff, I very rarely buy on spontaneity. I'm one of these people that likes to look at things, review things, compare things, especially for YouTube stuff as well. I take a lot of time before I actually purchase something. I don't go out and spontaneously buy a green screen or something because it's just something really cool that I could potentially do. Everything that I buy, especially for YouTube, it's thought out. There's a process to it. I don't just randomly buy things because I have the money to do it. I just think it's a good thing. It's a nice thing to have, and I kind of wish that more people were like that, to be honest. Now, next positive to being autistic is the fact that we get passionate about things. Now, you could say this about anyone, of course, but for me, when it comes to autistic people, and if there's something that they want to do, whether it's a hobby, an interest, something that's just come along and they've just gotten really excited about it, I feel like when we put our minds to it and this is something that we really want, our passion is just massive. It just seems to be a lot more intense than other people sometimes. I feel like we as autistic people, we can get very, very passionate about the things that we want to do or love to do, that sometimes we can overshare about those things, or we kind of get blindsided by our passions that we just forget everything else that exists. Especially if it comes to YouTube. For me, like, I get really passionate about my videos. If I'm editing on something, everything else just becomes a distraction. It just really just not something I'm interested in. If I'm doing something, that's the thing that I'm concentrating on and I'm just passionate about it and I just want to get it right and just do it well. Having autistic people who are passionate about things is just really, really great, because not only do you potentially get to learn something new, but if that passion is focused into something like employment, for example, it just benefits everyone. Just seeing someone who is passionate about their job, regardless of how mundane you think it might be, if they just like what they do and they're just passionate about doing it well, I think it's just a positive thing for everyone. And I just think it's a really positive aspect to being autistic. But I would love to know, what's the one positive thing about being autistic for you? I would love to know down below in those comments. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up for me down below. Stay you, stay indie. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.